Okay, we're doing the area of a parallelogram. First thing you got to know is the difference between a parallelogram and a rectangle. Rectangle is a four-sided polygon with opposite sides equal and four right angles. So it's important. See, these marks right here, by the way, that's called a tick mark. Let me write that out for you. It's called a tick mark. Okay, tick mark. When there's one mark here and one mark here, that means that those two sides are congruent. They're the same size. So these have two tick marks. This one has two tick marks. That means that these two sides are equal. So opposite sides are equal, and it has four right angles. And this one, another name for this one is a square, but it's also a rectangle because opposite sides are equal. It's just a special kind of rectangle because all the sides are equal. But it satisfies the requirements of being a rectangle also. What we're studying is parallelograms. And a parallelogram is a four-sided polygon with opposite sides equal. It doesn't have to have right angles. See this one? The opposite sides are equal, but it doesn't have right angles. So it's a parallelogram. What about this one? Is it a parallelogram? You might say no, it's a rectangle. But does it satisfy the definition of a parallelogram? Parallelogram, it says here, is a four-sided polygon. It's four sides. Opposite sides equal. Opposite sides equal. So yes, a rectangle is a parallelogram also. Now, the height of a parallelogram is the length of a perpendicular segment. Okay, here's the perpendicular segment. How do you know it's perpendicular? Because it forms a 90-degree angle with the line that it intersects. Okay? It intersects this line, and it forms a 90-degree angle, connecting one base to the other. This is one base. There's the other base. There's the line connecting the two, and it's a right angle. That makes it perpendicular. This is the height. Okay? Now, it doesn't matter which sides that you choose to be the base. Okay? This is the same parallelogram. I've just turned it on its side. Okay? And now we let this be the base, the shorter sides be the bases. Okay? And one thing you got to notice is that you can't draw this line, this perpendicular line, and connect to this other base right here because it's just too short. It's in the wrong place. So what you have to do is you have to extend the base out. Okay, so you extend it out. Whoops. There we go. Extend it out, and we get it perpendicular to the base that way. The other thing you got to know is it doesn't have to be from the vertex. It can be anywhere along here. That can be the base. That can be the height. 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 It's okay as long as it's drawn from one base to the other base and it's perpendicular. So this one could have been drawn from there to there, or from there to there. Okay? Alright, the area of a parallelogram is the product of the base and the height. Just like in the rectangle, it's length times width. In a parallelogram, it's base times height. So the big thing is you've got to recognize what the base and the height are. Okay? This is the base. Okay? The two sides that are opposite each other are the base. So that means that you're going to be multiplying 12 times what? Will it be the 8 or the 6? Well, here's the base, and here's the base, and here's the line that connects them. That is perpendicular. See, this line also connects them, but it's not perpendicular to the other base. So that means you're going to use the 6. So it'll be area equals 12 times 6, which is 72, and it's meters squared. Okay, when we look at this one, this is area equals base times height. The base this time are this top and bottom part right here. And you got to draw the line from one base to the other base, and it's got to be perpendicular. So this time, this is the height. Okay? So what's the base? The base is this 8 right here. It doesn't matter anything about this line right here, okay? This is the 8. So you, oops, yeah. It's the 8. And then the height is 9. So we go 8 times 9 and we get 72 meters squared. It was the same answer that we got on this one. But that's the reason that is because it was the same triangle. See, 8 by 12. I mean, same rectangle, 8 by 12. But because we turned it, the height on it this time was 9. The height on it the last time was 6, depending on which way you turn it. All right, here's a problem for you. Melinda wants to plant a rectangular garden and put a fence around it. She has 34 feet of fencing, and she wants the area of her garden to be as big as possible. Well, what's that mean? She wants a rectangular garden. Okay, there's the rectangle. She has 34 feet of fencing. How do you know the distance around this thing? Okay, because that's how much fencing she's going to be able to do. It's 34 feet. How do you find out the distance around this thing? That's right, that's perimeter. Do you remember perimeter? Perimeter is the distance around a figure. Okay, so how do you get the perimeter? Perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width is equal to the perimeter. Okay? Because it's width and length and length. Okay? So all you got to do is add them all up. So let's check these out and we'll see which ones work best with the 34 feet. This one's 9, this one's 8. So we go 2 times 9 plus 2 times 8. That gives us 18 plus 16 equals 34. So that gives us 34 perimeter. That's good. We go 2 times 10 plus 2 times 7. That gives us 20 plus 14 equals 34. So that works out. So either one of these works. Then this one, 2 times 12 plus 2 times 6. That gives us 24 plus 12 is 36. We can't use this one because she only has 34 feet, and this one requires 36 feet, so this one won't work. Okay? Then we've got 2 times 14 plus 2 times 5. That gives us 28 plus 10 is 38. And remember, once again, she only has 34 feet, so she can't do this one either. So she's going to do either this one or this one. Now, to have the biggest area, you multiply length times width. So for A, it's going to be 9 times 8 gives me 72 feet squared. For B, it will be 10 times 7 equals 70 feet squared. So which one is the bigger area? Right, it's this one right here because it's 72 and the other one's 70. So our answer is A. Now here's some examples of things that you're going to have to be able to do. This is just using algebra, but you have to know the formulas for perimeter and area. Remember, perimeter is equal to 2 times length. Whoops, let's do that different. Perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus 2 times width, and area is equal to base times height, or it says a rectangle, so you could say area equals length times width. So we've got a length of 14. We don't know the width, we don't know the area, but we do know the perimeter. So we know the perimeter, which is 34. We know the length, which is 14. So we try to find the width. So that gives us 34 equals 28 plus 2w. Draw a line. minus 28, minus 28. That cancels out. We're left with 6 equals 2w. We divide by 2, divide by 2, and that gives us w equals 3. So our width is 3. And how do we find our area? Area is equal to length times width. So that means area is equal to 14 times 3, which gives us 42 feet. No, inches. Inches squared. So that's not too bad. Okay, 42 inches squared. All right, one more example. Find the unknown measures for the rectangle. It always is good, and I know some of you won't do this, but it's a good thing to do, is to write down your formulas. What do you know? You know the area, you don't know the perimeter, so you're going to be using this formula. 37.8 is the area, is equal to the length, which you don't know, times the width. So it'll be 4.2 times, oops, I just need to put an L there, times L. 4.2 times the length. So we figure this out. We divide, put our line, divide by 4.2, divide by 4.2. Those cancel each other out, and you're left with L, length, equals 9. So we put the 9 right here, 9 meters. How do you find out the perimeter? You go perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So that will be perimeter equals 2 times 9 plus 2 times 4.2, and that gives you 18 plus 8.4, which gives you 26.4. 26.4 what? Meters, right. This is not meters squared because area is what's squared, okay? All right, here's one for you to do. You pause the video and do this one, and then get back. Oh, listen. Let's go ahead and do this first. Perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width, and area equals length times width. Use those formulas and solve this one. Pause the video. All right, what do you know? You know the area is 18.2, so we come over here and we put 18.2 equals, you know the length, you don't know the width. So the length is 7, and you don't know the width. So all you got to do now is divide by 7 on both sides. And that gives you W, the width, equals 2.6. So we come over here and we put 2.6 feet here. How do you find out the perimeter? Perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That gives you perimeter equals 14 plus 5.2. Perimeter equals 19.2 feet. Very good.